your breath, my bellows, my heart, your hearth. Today, we walk through ruins that are real. Today, we carry a new ember. Welcome to Embers, a Whisper and Flame podcast. My name is Michael, and I am the voice of Whisper and Flame. I am the voice that will guide you and journey with you these next 30 days. When your flame has burned down to embers, and all you can do is but whisper, you are welcome here. If you haven't yet, pick up a copy of Embers, 30 Days for Holding What Remains. It's a guided devotional journal that gives you space to encounter poetry and scripture and art, and to write your story for yourself. I'm a former pastor at an inner-city homeless shelter. I was a hospice chaplain, and I planted a church that welcomed deconstructing Christians before deconstruction ever became a common phrase. There is no safe investment. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly be broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give your heart to no one, not even to an animal. Wrap it carefully round with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. The alternative to tragedy, or at least to the risk of tragedy, is damnation. The only place outside heaven where you can be perfectly safe from all the dangers and perturbations of love is hell. That was written by C.S. Lewis in The Four Loves. One day I went to visit Rick and his wife, Sue. Rick had just been admitted to hospice. His wife agreed to have a chaplain come in. She was a Christian. He was of a nominal faith, more of a religious maybe than a religious yes. I think deep down Rick was very skeptical of the Christian story. He was a self-made man, and he was a good guy. I really liked getting to know him. We had a great conversation that first visit. He was completely himself, welcoming, curious, kind. And so was Sue. I thought a lot about them over the next 2 weeks. That was the usual frequency of our visits, and when I scheduled the second visit 2 weeks later, I didn't know what I would be in for. I was brought into the bedroom where Rick was shirtless and rattling. If you don't know, there can be fluid buildup in the lungs and esophagus at the end of life. It's called a death rattle. Rick had it. It was my first time hearing it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know there were only minutes left. 11 minutes. I remember looking at the visit timer on my tablet. When I walked in, his kids were surrounding his bed. His eyes were closed. I asked Sue to join me on the couch to give us some time to chat and the kids time to spend with their dad. We talked a little. She told me that a neighbor had led Rick to Christ in the intervening days, and she felt confident that she would see him again. That was when their son came around the corner and said one word, "Mom." We both stood up and rushed into the room where Rick, with eyes open, was rising up out of the bed, straining to get out. he was looking for someone. Sue got down right in front of him, and Rick relaxed back. I took a position behind everyone as the least important person there. I wanted to be out of the way. I felt like I was seeing something really intimate and that I shouldn't be there. I felt like a ghost haunting the corner of that room. Sue asked one question. She asked Rick, "Can you see me?" And the rattle stopped. He died then. No one moved. No one spoke. We stood there for hours, days, and age. And finally, Sue asked me to pray, to commit Rick to God, to comfort their kids. So I did. I remember it was a long prayer. I was trying to keep the silence at bay. I only remember parts of it. I remember starting by saying, "God, thank you. Thank you for Rick, for his love for Sue, for the kids. Thank you for his life. And thank you for taking him and bringing him from death into life in your presence." I remember that because I was nervous to thank God. But I knew that when I've been in the worst places, somehow, it always feels better to be grateful to God than hostile. I also thanked God for Rick praying to accept Jesus as the only way through death into life. Thank you for helping Rick put his faith in your Son that carried him into life. Even though we just lost him, we trust that our own faith will carry us also from death to life, and we will see him again, breathing and upright, even though he died, because of your love for him and for us. May we all meet again in paradise. May angels sing thee to thy rest. That was how I concluded. I stopped. We were all silent for a time. They thanked me. I told them I would give them some space. I called the nurse to come and call the time of death. There is no safe investment. To love at all is to risk ruin. To risk the breaking of your heart and still saying, "It's worth it." Each of us, somewhere along the way, said, "It's worth it," and each of us have had our hearts broken. When the end comes again in your story, and all you're left with are ruins of a once whole heart, will you promise to keep saying, "It's worth it"? Rick died well. He died in the best way I've ever seen. Maybe that sounds strange to you. How could anything about how he died be good? I'll tell you, it's because he died looking into the eyes of the woman he loved. That's the last thing that Rick saw. He saw his wife. Her love was right there, risking the loss that was happening to her right then in that moment. And it brought him comfort. That was the last they saw of each other. And the last of Rick she saw was him relaxing back, closing his eyes, and being at peace. I still see Sue around town. You may not believe me, but I was driving on the highway and I saw a convertible with an open top, 2 kids in the back, and a lady driving up front. They were bobbing around and they were obviously singing songs together. It was Sue. She was smiling. She was loving. She was still saying, "It's worth it." Ruins are real. They're what's left of before. And ruins can also be the foundation for what comes next. Join me in our breath prayer today and say it with me as Sue may say it. Inhale. These ruins are real. And exhale. And still I remain. And again, inhale. These ruins are real. And exhale. And still I remain. Thank you for joining me today for Ember 6, Ruins Are Real. Pick up a copy of Embers, 30 Days for Holding What Remains. Allow me to bless you as we depart for now. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and bring you peace. Join me tomorrow for Day 7 of Embers, the last day of our week, to find what remains. Before you go, remember, even the grave is not godless, but a child's lost and found. You, yes, you are beloved. Every scar, holy ground.